Hello everybody, Loader for Life here, bringing you guys a brand new deck profile. Wow, it feels like forever since I've done one. I've just been kind of like trying to get decks ready for link format, and now it's time to churn out deck profiles like crazy again. So, first and foremost, we got World Legacy, and I freaking love this deck. I know a lot of people hate it, just because it's not that great, but at the same time, I've noticed that a lot of people love it because it's just a really fun deck to play. World Legacy reminds me a lot of Synchrons in that it just spams out from the extra deck like crazy. Heck, one time while playtesting, I went through 14 out of my 15 card extra deck, and that was just so stupid in one turn. And that was just how this deck works. It's so cool and interesting. It's our first fully fledged Link archetype. I know that technically Gokis and Trickstars are also Link archetypes, but however, well, Gokis rely heavily on their Links, but Trickstars don't, and Gokis still need a lot of stuff, and this deck is really the only Link archetype that I could say that, like, you could possibly take to a tournament and do well. Like, it really depends on what your opponent opens, and provided they don't have a lot of Mass Destruction cards, because this deck loses so hard to Mass Destruction. It reminds me a bit of Gem Knights in that way, where it's a glass cannon. You can do a lot of cool shenanigans, you can do a lot of cool special summon stuff. You can fill out your board with just extra deck monster after extra deck monster after extra deck monster. But God forbid your opponent have that Kaiju Slumber or Dark Hole or Raigeki, and then there goes everything you did last turn. So, yeah. But however, this deck is still a very fun deck to play. It's not too terribly expensive either. So if you want a fun tier 2 deck to play while at your locals or with friends and stuff, I highly recommend World Chalice. And that's enough rambling, let's get off the actual deck profile. First and foremost, I got triple of the World Legacy, the World Chalice, the level 5. I know some people have been playing 2 of it, but I've been finding 3 to be a lot better. Just simply for the fact that you want to see it as soon as possible, whether that being drawing into it or searching it off a Lee. So what this card does is if it's been tribute summoned and your opponent special summons a monster from the extract, you can send it from your field to the graveyard, negate that summon, and destroy that monster. So it's kind of like a walking solemn warning. And I'll be honest, you almost never use that effect. I've never had a time where I've actually needed it, because you usually just end up linking this thing off. And then it has 2 other effects, one of which it only gets if you tribute summoned it, which really annoys me, but still. So if it was tribute summoned, and it was sent to the graveyard from the field, you can special summon any 2 World Chalice monsters from your deck, which is really good, and is one of the big ways that this deck is able to make so many different combos. And then of course it's been in your graveyard, you can banish it, search out a World Legacy card. You can't do that the turn that it was sent to the graveyard though, which really hinders the speed of this deck. If you could do that during the same turn that it was sent to the graveyard, oh my god, this deck would be so much better. But either way, I digress. It's still a really great card. Then I just play 3 of every vanilla. Whoops. You kind of absolutely need to, unless like you're playing an engine with something else in there. If like I saw a True Draco build of this, which was interesting to say the least. But however, if you're not playing like a mix of something else in here, you absolutely need 3 of every normal monster, because they are your main combo pieces, which is weird saying with their normal monsters, but you mainly use them to churn out your links and everything, so you absolutely do need 3 of each of the normal monsters. And then we got 3 of the Guard Dragon, the cute little puppy dragon. So this little guy, he has 2 really great effects. So if he's in your hand or on your field and your opponent targets one of your monsters that are linked with another monster, so if it's like a link monster that points to something, or a monster that's being pointed by a link monster is targeted by a card effect, you can send them from your field or your hand to the graveyard to negate that effect and destroy it, which is really great against like True Draco and Zoo with, like, you know, Dryden and Masterpiece and all their spell and trap cards for True Dracos and stuff that, you know, can pop stuff. So being able to stop stuff like that with this little guy is just really awesome, being able to do that, and it can really hinder what your opponent does. And since it also destroys the monster, that means you don't have to worry about the monster for the rest of the turn, hopefully. And so really great effect right there. But even more so, you mainly use this guy for his second effect unless you're dealing with True Dracos or Zoo. And his second effect is very simple. If he's in your graveyard, you can banish him from your graveyard, special summon any of your vanillas from your grave. You can only do that effect though once a turn, which really sucks. But even then, this guy is still really good, because he just allows you to enable your combo plays, he gives protection to your monsters, and is just an overall really great hand trap with an effect in graveyard. And then I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for this. I play 2 Lee. So Lee is a really good search card. She's 100. I could have sworn she had 400 attack. 100 attack, 2000 defense, light fairy, level 2. And if she is normal or special summon, you can search out a World Chalice card from your deck to your hand. And then, of course, and here's the big reason why I play 2. If she's in your graveyard, you can discard a monster to add her back to your hand. Really, really great effect. She's recurable. So you don't really need to play as many as like you might want to. Like, oh hey, a Stratos, I should play 3 of this, but oh wait, it can recur itself, so maybe I should play 2 so I can do something else. Now that being said though, I have been testing 2, it's been working really great. I'm gonna test 3 at a later time. I tested 3 and I found her to be a bit cloggy. I'm gonna try it again later. Because her effect is a hard once per turn, which is a bit annoying. If she wasn't, oh my god, I'd definitely play 3 in a heartbeat. But however, considering both effects, to recur her and also to search are a hard once per turn, she's really only good at 2, I feel like, or at least for now. Maybe if the deck gets a lot more support, or at least maybe 1 or 2 more cards, she'll be a lot better. But I feel like that at 2, she's fine, is what I'm trying to say because of the effective discard. And then we got 2 Gem Knight Lazuli. I'm playing the Brilliant Fusion, and this is my target. Now, here's the big thing about Gem Knight Lazuli over like Garnet or Sardonyx or any other Gem Knight that you might want to play, is that if Lazuli is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, doesn't matter if it's from field or hand or anything, you can target one of your normal monsters in your graveyard, add it to your hand. So, big thing is if you Brilliant Fusion out your Seraphonite, sending her and Lee, you can grab back one of your normal monsters in the graveyard. It is really, really, really good, and it is just so good because this deck relies so heavily on having cards in its hand that Lazuli just adds that much more consistency to the deck. Not to mention, if you discard her off of Lee's effect to add Lee back to hand, you can use Lazuli effect to grab back something else too, which is really, really great. And then here's another thing I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for. I play 1 Gofu, and I'm thinking of dropping him entirely. So here's the big thing about Gofu. I feel like he's good in every other deck except for this, because Gofu and making Deco Talker of 2 Link Spiders does nothing to advance this deck's game state. Generally speaking, you want to make Orum in the extra monster zone. This guy, okay? And because he's your main combo player, he's one of your big combo things. If he gets negated, you're kind of stuck until until next turn and make another one. So Deco Talker being in the extra monster zone prevents you from making Orum. It's as simple as that, and it does nothing to advance your game state aside from giving you a beater who can negate targeting effects. Oh wait, I can already stop targeting effects of Guard Dragon. So yeah, I really don't like Gofu with Deco Talker into 2 Link Spiders. Not to mention this deck's extra deck is so heavily confined, especially if you're playing that it's so stupid ridiculous, okay? Like seriously, with the Deco Talker and the 2 Link Spiders taken out, I'm free to play a lot more than what I would normally be able to play if I was playing the Deco Talker into 2 Link Spiders. And I've been seeing a lot of people complaining about the extra deck space in this deck and their deck profiles of it. And I really feel like the big reason is because of Deco Talker into 2 Link Spiders, and also your deck's reliance on its archetypal links. So I'm still playing 1 Gofu though because he's still really helpful for just getting another free monster on board. I believe you can tribute off Gofu for his summons and stuff like this. Yeah, you can tribute off him for the summon of the level 5, which is really great. And he's just an overall really good card for, you know, doing other stuff. But I just don't use him to make Deco Talker or to Link Spiders. So I feel like he's better as a 1-of in this deck. Oh god, I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that. Before I made Strict Clown, I played 1-of, just in case if I feel like that making him, sending him instead of Lee for the Brilliant Fusion is better. Not to mention, if I just normal summon him out and use him for a Link monster, he comes back either way. So I found him to be really useful. Not to mention he's another level 4, so so it's a bit easier to make that Gusto Emerald in the deck. He's just a really great card overall as a 1-of. 1 Rescue Rabbit, because we have so many normal monsters in this deck, it's ridiculous. 1 Maxi, because Maxi's at 1 right now, even though it really shouldn't be. Take that as you will. That card is good. Then we got the spell cards. Triple, Brilliant Fusion, that kind of goes without saying. Brilliant Fusion, Brilliant Engine, need Brilliant Fusion. I know some people play the Orvis Scorpio thing, you know, to search it out and stuff. I personally don't do that because this deck, I just don't feel like there's enough room for a 4-card engine to search out Brilliant Fusion to only just do stuff other than it. Not to mention, you really don't want to see Brilliant Fusion turn 1 with Lazuli unless like you also have other stuff that you can do with the other combos. So yeah, it really depends, but still, if you open like Brilliant Fusion with Bunny and oh my god, it's stupid. And then we got World Legacy's Heart. I personally play 3 of it. I know some people play 2. I feel like 3 is absolutely necessary. It grabs back any 2 of your World Chalice monsters from your graveyard and adds them back to your hand. You can grab back Lee, you can grab back Guard Dragon to level 5. It doesn't matter what, you can grab back any of them, and it's just really great just being able to grab back any 2 World Chalice cards. And then I got 2 World Legacy Discoveries. This card is really good, but also kind of just It's like one of those weird cards that's kind of somewhere in the middle. It's really great for the fact that it helps you OTK because it gives all of your World Chalice monsters 300 attack and defense. So your Aurum, provided you have a World Legacy in your graveyard, is a 2600 beater, and then Girisu's a 2800. It's just really good for just enabling even more OTKs. The big downside to this card is its secondary effect. If any of your World Chalice monsters are destroyed by a card effect, once a turn you can spell summon a World Chalice from your graveyard in defense position. And I might be wondering why that's a bad thing. The big thing is that it only allows you to summon them off of being destroyed by card effects, and also only allows you to bring back monsters in defense position. So you can't bring back the Link monsters, and it just generally usually ends up getting destroyed before you can trigger that effect. So really, on all honesty, the card doesn't really do much other than enable you to go into more OTKs. There have been times where, oh hey, my opponent Regeki'd my board, I special summoned a Lee from graveyard, searched off stuff. That's really great, but aside from that particular instance, it's generally not that helpful. Like, you only get 1 monster, you don't get 1 for every monster destroyed, you don't get it multiple times, no, you only get it once, and that's a hard once per turn. And this deck is in dire need of some sort of recovery. Like, if this card was able to summon any guy from your graveyard, it doesn't matter if it's in defense or in attack position, that would have been really great. Just being able to bring back an Girisu that was destroyed, that would have been really good, and enabled the deck to actually be able to maintain field advantage a bit better if, in case, well, crap hits the fan. So yeah, I only play 2 of it. 2 Unexpected Die, summons any of the normal monster from the deck, it's really great. 1 Warrior, because the level 4 is a Warrior. Sorry, reinforcements of the army. 1 Emergency Teleport, because the level 3 is a Psychic. 1 for 1, because, well, Guard Dragon's a level 1. Soul Charge is freaking amazing in this deck. It's at 1, so you don't get to see it often, but when you do, oh my god, the plays you can do with this deck, it's insane. It's just awesome. 1 Twin Twister, because this deck really can't afford losing its hand advantage. If I can ever get some heavy Storm Dusters, I'm going to play that instead, and probably honestly in the side deck, not in the main deck. But still, heavy Twin Twister just kind of helps. It also gets your Guard Dragon engraved and can trigger Lazuli effects to grab back stuff. So that's always nice. And then I play 2 Jar of Avarice to recur stuff, because this deck burns through its main deck, its hand advantage, and its extra just so incredibly fast. This is one of the fastest decks I've ever seen, and how fast it just burns through its stuff. It's like an incredibly intensely hot flame. It explodes and erupts, but burns out real fast, just as fast as it exploded and erupted. So Jar of Avarice is here to mitigate that to some extent. It doesn't fully help, and it doesn't fully fix everything. Honestly, I really felt that this deck could really do with an archetypal Jar of Avarice or something, but really, in all honesty, it's just here for try and help mitigate being Regeki or Darkhold, or trying to help add more to the combos and everything, because it can also help putting your stuff back for it to summon off of a World Legacy, World Chalice and stuff, which is always great. And also, hey, a free card is always nice, so yeah. Biggest thing about Jar of Avarice is it's a freaking trap. Then for the Link monsters, I play 3 of every single one of the archetypal Links except for 1. So M-Duck, he lets you get an extra normal summon. He needs a normal monster except a token. And if he battles a monster that he points to, he kills it instantly, which is always great. Ib is one of the main ones you make after making Aurum. Ib, you can, generally speaking, you make 2 of her and you just sit on them. So what she does is, while she's in a linked state, She cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects or targeted by card effects, which is really, really, really great, because if you summon 2 of her out, you don't have to worry about anything. Like, your opponent can't do anything except for kaijuing them, and then that's when, well, stuff falls apart. But generally speaking, game 1, you don't have to worry about kaijus unless, like, you're going against dinosaurs. So, yeah, really, really great card. And then, of course, like her and every other one of the World Chalice Link monsters, if they are sent from field to grave, you can spell summon a World Chalice from hand. Then we got Orum. He's your main combo starter, well, other than M-Duck. Like, he's usually the one you go into after M-Duck. M-Duck gets you rolling, and then this guy just gets you further rolling. So what he does is you can tribute off a monster, World Chalice monster he points to spell summon a World Chalice from your graveyard, except the one you pointed to. Well, tribute it off, I should say. So really, really, really great for that sense, because then, like, let's say you get out, generally speaking, you're going to have an M-Duck out pointing towards him. Well, that he points to, I should say. And then you're going to tribute off that M-Duck, summon out something from your graveyard, and then M-Duck's effect is going to trigger, summoning out something from your hand, which is always really great. And then, of course, he gains 300 attack for every World Legacy in your graveyard with different names, which is really, really silly, but oh well. Then we got Ningyusu, the World Chalice Warrior. This guy is technically the Dex boss monster, but he kind of doesn't feel like one. I mean, he kind of does, kind of doesn't. So whenever he's link summoned, you can draw cards equal to the number of World Chalice monsters he points to, which up to max of 3, since he points up, left, and right, which is great, but you generally speaking don't get to draw that many. You usually only get to draw 1 or 2 at max, which is still nice, but yeah, it doesn't help recur the loss of having to use 2 Link monsters to make this guy. You have to use 2 Link monsters to go into him, which is incredibly obnoxious, but still. And then once per turn, you can send 1 card you control and 1 card your opponent controls to the graveyard, which is always great. And then, of course, he has a floating effect like everybody else in the deck. And then for the actual boss monsters, like, let's be honest, 1 Firewall and 1 Topologic. So I do fully intend on getting a second Firewall for the deck eventually, but I'm not dropping a crap ton of money for a card that's going to get reprinted 1,000,001 times. So what Firewall does, everybody knows what he does, is being able to return stuff that he points from your graveyard or field to the hand up to the number of monsters he's in a mutual link with. And then, of course, being able to summon monsters from your hand every time a monster he points to leaves a field is really, really great. Generally speaking, you either use them to wipe out your opponent's monster zones so you can attack directly, go for the OTK, or you use them to grab back stuff from your graveyard to further extend your combos, which is always great. And then with Topologic Bomber Dragon, I can't tell you how many times this guy has, like, just won me games. This guy is really, really powerful. Topologic is pretty much your main end goal with this deck, because while yes, Firewall Dragon's great and all, Topologic is the only thing in this deck that can punch over a Masterpiece. Firewall can't, and generally speaking, they make Masterpiece immune to monster effects, so Firewall can't touch it. But Topologic can, because he's 50 points over. And Topologic being able to just nuke the main monster zone every time a monster is spell summoned to the link point of a monster on a field is insane. And then having Flame Wingman's effect is just awesome. This card is... There is nothing wrong with this card. It's so awesome. And then if you have, like, Ibs out that are pointing to each other, they don't get destroyed. So then, hey, you're fine with just having a Topologic with 2 Ibs out. It's great. This card is awesome. I love it. Then we got 2 Daigusto Emerald. I'm honestly probably going to drop 1 for the other Firewall, because you almost never make Daigusto Emerald, but there's a really good reason why you play Daigusto Emerald. So first and foremost, obviously, the recursion effect, being able to, put back 3 monsters, draw a card. But also, you can detach Xyz material and summon out a non-effect monster from your graveyard. So you can bring back one of your normal monsters, which is always great, and just allow you to go for more combos and stuff, which is always, always awesome. And then, of course, since we're playing a Brilliant Engine, 1 Jura Knight, Seraphonite. So you're probably wondering why I don't play 2 Jura Knight, Seraphonites. I was, but there's just no extra decks. There's just no extra deck space. I mean, yeah, some people would argue, hey, take out Topologic, you don't need them. But in my experience, you need Topologic, so yeah, I disagree. But Jura Knight, Seraphonite, obviously you play 1 of her just to be able to get that normal summon. And then, of course, you can recycle her back with Jar of Avarice or Daigusto Emerald if you need to, which is always just absolutely awesome, because you just getting free recycles and then just summoning her back out and getting more normal summons is always great. So guys, that is the deck profile of World Legacy or World Chalice, Star Grail, whatever you want to call it. I absolutely love this deck. It is so much fun. It's going to be one of my main decks for the link format, I feel like, at least until Crawlers come out. Crawlers are probably going to take over. This deck is so much fun. I love it, and it's just an awesome deck to play. Thank you all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have a great day. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. If you have any ideas, recommendations, or concerns for this deck, please leave your comments down below. I always try to read the comments. I may not always reply, but I do always try to read the comments. And yeah, guys, see y'all later. Peace out. Goodbye. It's your birthday, happy birthday, and see y'all later. Legend for Life. Just wanted to give a quick shout out to my 2 Patreons so far. To my 2 wonderful Patreons, Cambrock223 and Night Zone. You guys are incredibly awesome, and it just, I can't express my thanks enough. Thank you guys both, and I hope everybody has a great day. See y'all later. Peace out.